Chapter 6, 162. Inkman King. Translator, Chibi General Editor, Chibi General. Lang Ya Land Spirit felt heartache when he looked at his swamp crab. The swamp crab was lying down flat on the ground, unable to stand up. Its 9 pairs of legs were almost entirely torn to pieces, and even one of the enormous steel pincers at the front was shattered. Such a battle outcome caused the Inkman Gu Immortal and Tai Bai Yun Sheng to feel a chill from the depths of their hearts. Fang Yuan struck with over 10,000 strength path phantoms, of which over 3,000 still remained. He calmly stored the remaining phantoms into his immortal aperture. These phantoms could only exist for a period of time, and beyond that limit, the fist chi would dissipate, and the phantoms would disappear along with it. But as long as they could be used, Fang Yuan would not waste even one of them. Ever since he returned to Hu Immortal Blessed Land from Northern Plains, he had been penniless. He did not even have one immortal essence stone. Thus, he was not able to replenish large numbers of mortal gummum. From the battle just now, he had already probed. With just the 8-armed immortal zombie body, it was hard for him to pose much threat to the heavy-armored swamp crab. The only option thus was to use his killer move, Myriad Self. The core of this killer move was a soul path immortal goo that Fang Yuan possessed, and so it required green grape immortal essence to be activated. In her song, the situation earlier was not clear. Thus Fang Yuan decisively gave up a bead of green grape immortal essence to take control of the situation. The killer movie Myriad Self was indeed created from the convergence of enslavement and strength path. Its might was extraordinary. The swamp crab, which had brought huge trouble to Fang Yuan once before, causing him to use all his strength in order to barely deal with it, could not even raise its head from the beatings of Myriad Self. It continued to be in a disadvantage with no hopes of freeing itself. "You rascal, entering my home without a word and also injuring my desolate beast. How will you compensate me?" Lang Ya Land Spirit furiously chided Fang Yuan. Tai Bai Yun Sheng was engrossed in looking at this land spirit from behind Fang Yuan. Lang Ya Land Spirit was thin with white hair, having a beard that reached his chest and a ruddy face like that of a baby's. He was wearing a loose robe over his whole body, and the 2 sleeves were fluttering in the air. If not for him seething with anger and staring at Fang Yuan with his eyes wide open, his demeanor would no doubt look elegant and sagely. Fang Yuan was already familiar with Lang Ya Land Spirit. He stared at the shackles around Lang Ya Land Spirit, frowning. "You have been sealed. No wonder I could not hear any news of your divine sense in Treasure Yellow Heaven. According to Northern Plains time, we have not met for merely more than half a year. How could you end up like this?" Lang Ya Land Spirit's eyes opened even wider as he snarkily retorted, "Talk about yourself. How did you become like this? Neither human nor ghost, advancing to a Gu Immortal and yet degenerating into a zombie? Hey, you should still have plenty of lifespan though. Lang Ya Land Spirit, you have lived for so many years yet you don't even know the simplest logic of give and take. Only by giving up one thing can you gain another. If I didn't turn into a zombie, how could I be in front of you again and hold such powerful strength? But you, the longer you live, the more you regress. Now you can't even refine Gu. You are really making your main body lose face." Fang Yuan sneered, intentionally provoking the land spirit. Lang Ya Land Spirit's sore spots were prodded, and he immediately stamped his foot in anger. Not long ago, Lang Ya Blessed Land had suffered an attack from a mysterious force. Lang Ya Land Spirit was able to repel the invaders, but he ended up sealed by a chi path killer move. Thus, he ended up having to invite his best friend to remove the seals. Lang Ya Land Spirit started cursing at Fang Yuan. "You shitty kid, you still have the nerve to talk about me? True Yang Building's fall was definitely caused by you, right? Hey, so many people died. 2 super forces lost their tribe leaders. The whole of Northern Plains Gu Immortals are searching for you, the main culprit. You are now everyone's target. Your life must be pretty hard now, right?" The Inkman Gu Immortal and Tai Bai Yun Sheng's expressions changed. The Inkman Gu Immortal's pupils shrunk slightly, feeling an intense urge to cover the land spirit's mouth. But the land spirit had already said everything. It was too late. "How could you blurt out such a matter? Are you not afraid those two will attack to silence us? The Inkman Gu immortal's heart could not help but tremble with fear. These two were actually the people who had turned Northern Plains on its head and even wrecked Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's arrangements. Too dangerous. The situation was going south. The next moment, both Fang Wen and Tai Bai Yunsheng gazed coldly at the Inkman Gu immortal. Even if the Inkman Gu immortal had high position and authority normally and had extraordinary strength himself, right now he could feel his heart going cold under the gaze of these two ruthless monsters. Langya Land Spirit, why are you not introducing us to this person? Fang Yuan chuckled. His voice was so hoarse that it was borderline uncomfortable to hear. I can't let Langya Land Spirit reply. Who knows what this loose-lipped guy will say? Thus, the Inkman Gu immortal summoned his courage and stood up, greeting, My name is Motan Sang. I live in Inkman City and am the king of Northern Plains Inkman. Tai Bai. Yunsheng raised his brows. He had not expected this person to have such an origin and immediately looked at the Inkman King in another color. Currently, the 5 regions were dominated by humans. Variant humans were living while pressured on all sides. Many were sold as slaves or raised as pets. Their livelihood was rather difficult. But in Northern Plains, Inkman had the most favorable status among the variant humans. Many variant humans had no fixed residence and would have to wander around like vagabonds. But Inkmen had established a city in Northern Plains, which possessed 3 Inkman Gu immortals. Motan Sang was the Inkman city's king. Under his leadership, the Inkmen were able to resist pressure from various forces and withstand the covetous gazes of countless Gu immortals. It was not easy to maintain the Inkmen's survival. It served to show how talented and skilled the Inkman King was. Inkman King Motan Sang, Fang Yuan muttered inwardly. He had an impression of this name. In the chaotic war of the 5 regions during his previous life, the Inkman King took advantage of the lack of attention paid to him due to the human tribes being too busy in their internal conflicts to grab the opportunity and develop rapidly, greatly expanding the Inkman forces. When Northern Plains human forces wanted to suppress him, he actually disregarded his dignity as the king and threw himself to Lu tribe. He took a servant's right to Lu tribe's supreme elder and became a servant to him. Lu tribe was one of the super forces. Thus, the Inkman forces were protected. The Inkman forces grew stably under this layer of protection. Later, when Lu tribe weakened, the Inkman King immediately gave up on Lu tribe to collaborate with Ma Hongyun on equal terms. Before Fang Yuan self-detonated, the Inkman had hundreds of cities and occupied 1/3 of Northern Plains lands. From this, one could see how talented and insightful the Inkman King Motan Sang was. Not only did he have unique foresight and courage to take resolute actions, he could also bow and submit when necessary. He was not someone who could be belittled. Fang Yuan lightly praised, So it is the Inkman King. Sure enough, you have a majestic aura beyond that of ordinary people. I am not worthy of such high praise. Inkman King quickly replied modestly. The person before him was the main criminal in destroying 88 Truyong building. He had to be extremely vigilant against such a dangerous person. He took the initiative to explain, Langya Land Spirit and I have been very good friends for many years. In truth, Inkman City has always had close relations with Langya Blessed Land. We in Inkman City have some attainment in Chi Path, and it turns out Langya Land Spirit was sealed using a Chi Path method. Thus I hurried over to help. Sir is a dragon who roams the sky, stirring up a storm and causing the whole of Northern Plains to be in a state of unrest. I cannot help but admire such grandeur. All along, our Inkman City has been jointly suppressed by the Huangjin tribes. Back then, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was even more overboard, demanding Inkman cities to offer tribute in terms of countless female Inkmen. In a way, you have helped us Inkmen take revenge by destroying Imperial Court Blessed Land. You are also the Land Spirit's friends, so you are my, Motan Sang's, friends as well. If you have any plans in the future, feel free to visit Inkman City. He was indeed the Inkman King, such outstanding eloquence that completely expressed his goodwill in just one conversation. Especially speaking in neither a servile nor overbearing tone, it was extremely hard to come by. Who is friends with this rascal? Lang Yalan's spirit shouted in dissatisfaction. However, he felt happy in the depths of his heart when he heard Fang Yuan praising his friend, and the anger he felt previously had reduced. Fang Yuan nodded to the Inkman King, replying with deep intent, "If there is an opportunity, I will definitely come to experience life in Inkman City." He then looked at Lang Ya Land Spirit and continued provoking him without concern. "Land Spirit, even if I am not your friend, you should still welcome me and refine a goo for me. Did you forget I still have one chance left to make you refine goo? If I want you to refine goo, you will do it even if you don't want to?" Lung Yalan's spirit could not put up a facade at all, his temper flaring up immediately. Normally, goo immortals would be polite and even flatter him to request him to refine goo. When had he ever received her disrespectful words like Fang Yuan's? But Fang Yuan was speaking the truth. He still had the final chance to request for goo refinement. Lang Ya Lan's spirit was long-hair ancestors' obsession, and he must abide by the agreement his main body had agreed to back then. "You damned scoundrel! I am so angry, my anger is going to explode!" Lang Yalin's spirit shouted, his face completely red with fury. But suddenly he grinned with happiness. "Ah ha ha ha! I am trapped! This keypath seal is too troublesome. There are a total of 17 or 18 layers of seals. Just now, Inkman King only unsealed the first layer. Ha 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 ha! I really can't help you refine goo right now. My hands are tied. This is wonderful." He had been bored to death since he was sealed. Not being able to do refinement meant his greatest hobby had been taken away. But right now, he was feeling quite happy about it. It was all Fang Yuan's fault. Seeing this weirdo Lang Yalan's spirit shouting and laughing like a buffoon, Tai Bai Yun Sheng felt this trip was worth it. His horizons were broadened. Inkman King was silent. He was the leader of a large force and was not willing to easily offend Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan coughed before speaking solemnly. "All right, let's talk about serious affairs. Since you can't refine goo, forget about it. I have another matter for coming over this time. I want to make a transaction with you." "Transaction? What transaction?" Lang Yalan Spirit asked. Inkman King immediately turned vigilant. Lang Yalan Spirit might have high intelligence, but his nature was frank. It was hard to say that he wouldn't be cheated. Inkman King was the land spirit's good friend. If Fang Yuan truly was conspiring, he would stand up and expose Fang Yuan's scheme. "The transaction is simple. You should remember the thing about me being a wisdom path goo master, right? I will deduce immortal goo recipes for you, while you will pay immortal essence stones as remuneration. This is a win-win deal," Fang Yuan replied. "Deduce goo recipes?" Lang Yalan's spirit opened his eyes wide as he became dazed, but at the next moment he started laughing loudly. He was swaying back and forth in his laughter. If his hands were not bound, he might have been slapping his thighs together in laughter. Lang Yalan's spirit ridiculed. "Fang Yuan, oh Fang Yuan, you are now a zombie and still think you can deduce goo recipes? Moreover, immortal goo recipes? This old man advises you to get rid of this thought." Inkman King, however, said, "An immortal goo recipe, even if it is a remnant recipe, has a high price. If we give it to Sir to deduce it, but you fail in the process, then wouldn't we be handing you the contents of the immortal goo recipe for nothing?" Lang Yalan's spirit was startled to awareness, immediately yelling in rage, "Great, you actually wanted to swindle me of immortal goo recipes." Fang Yuan had already prepared for this, and laughed, opening his monstrous palm to reveal an immortal goo. "Look, what is this?